Hello everyone, this is Muhammad Fazil, the marketing executive at DevSync. We have started a new series of podcasts and we name it as TechCast for you to know about people who have done something great in their lives, who are up to doing something much greater in their lives, and who have made their names in the tech industry in Pakistan. Today we have a personality who is super amazing, super hardworking, and they have really made their name in the tech industry in Pakistan. We have the CEO of RLT Square, Hafiz Muhammad Idrees Butt.
Thank you, Fazil, for a nice introduction and having me here for your TechCast.
You're welcome. Now, could you please shed some light on your journey, on yourself, on your company? How's it working?
Sure. I think it's important I think I've gone through a big journey in getting where I am today. So I would like to, walk you guys through the whole journey that I had. So I graduated from FAST Lahore in 2005. And then I worked for a couple of years in the industry. After that, I was kind of lucky to secure a contract from a US-based company. And so I got self-employed. And that project went on for like 10 years, and I provided support. So that really helped me, it was like a good financial source for me. And then in between, I also started a company called SMS All, which was a startup. I started in 2010. There was a big learning experience for me. I had to work long hours, 6 days, 7 days a week, most of the times, and I was fully dedicated to the whole project. And so it actually resulted in pretty nice success as well. We had like over 12 million subscribers using our service. We did a lot of political campaigns, like for various parties use our platform for their membership recruitments, and we were partners with Junk Group and all that. So it was really nice. But eventually, because it was SMS-based social networking service, there was WhatsApp and all these big apps were coming. We were having, probably difficulties in actually maintaining the whole direction of the company. So I moved on to this new company which is a more services-oriented company, which is called RLT Square. And back in 2014, I started this company, and now it's been 7 years. And so currently I am the chief executive there and trying to build this company.
Thank you so much. It has always been a pleasure to meet and get a real-time inspiration from people like you. So could you tell us more about the framework of the RLT Square, and how do you propose to manage it? How do you see it in the next coming few years?
Yeah, so RLT Square, when we started, it was a very, I can say a traditional company, a software development company. Mm-hmm. We decided to focus on one platform. It was Magento, which is an open source e-commerce platform. It was acquired by Adobe now, but the reason for me to select this was its open source nature. Back then I got this advice from my friends that if I would select a company which is an open source based on open source platform, it will help me, sort of grow quickly, because you become part of the whole ecosystem, and there are a lot of clients, who would be willing to take your service to customize their platforms to develop. So I like that whole strategy. So I, really focus it religiously, and we did not look around. We did not take any other projects for any other platform. So that was the journey, and we had our own struggle. I remember obviously the whole company started with Upwork, and the way everybody would approach it. Yeah. And we spent almost 9 months before we got our first project. And I still remember that for the 2-3 years, it was really hardly breaking even. And eventually I found my people, and eventually I found projects, clients. And back in 2018, we started growing. However, when we started getting our success, we became one of the best companies in Pakistan, that provides Magento development services. Mm-hmm. We were having sort of issues like people leaving the company, clients leaving us. Every now and then there will be a dip And that's like the story of every company that struggles to grow beyond 20 people. If initially you have good business, you grow, you're excited, and suddenly, the client leaves, the people leave you. So we were having those sort of issues. So back in like 2021, like last year, we sat down and we started analyzing what's going wrong, really. We had people who were very happy with us. I'm very happy to share that none of my employees in the past, left me because they were unhappy or I did something wrong to them or something like that. It was really that they got simply great opportunities, right? So one of my employees, was working with me. It was getting like 150,000 rupees, and he got an offer like over $1 million because he got a remote job, and it was simply I couldn't really match that. So I started asking myself, how far can I take this company with this sort of issues, right? So we give opportunities to people who learn this platform, who become great developers, they make their names in the market, but then eventually they get great opportunities and eventually they leave the company. And so we can't really, there was a point of graduating out of RLT Square, as if people would consider that now they don't need RLT Square anymore. They have graduated that whole thing. So we sat down and we started thinking about how could we, face this challenge. As an entrepreneur, if you're leading the company, you really need to solve problems, right? And these are kind of problems as a leader that you have to deal with. So, it was a very tough decision. And so, but by the help of Allah, we were able to, I believe, figure out what was missing there. And then, we started practicing this new strategy, a new model, which is really people-centric now. And for the last 1 year or so, we have seen that our retention has improved. Our, people are very happy now. And above all, I'm not afraid of people leaving me, because I believe genuinely that now RLT Square is the best place for them to work for. So, that has been the journey of RLT Square, and that's how we tackled the main problem that we were having. I mean, I could go on in doing what we are doing, but basically that is the part I really think is important for people to know. That, even when you become successful as a company, it doesn't mean there is some sort of challenge waiting for you. And that is like people outgrow you, or you outgrow people, like, or some clients, leave you. So these kind of things keep on coming. So you really need a strategy that is powerful, that can take you beyond these challenges, and you really truly grow your company.
Okay, so in your model, you touched upon things like better retention, a company being people-centric, and happier people in your company. We will definitely want to know more about this thing. So could you please elaborate more on that?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, every company has, two phases, right? There's a phase of failure, you can say, when you're going down, or there's a phase of success when your company is going up. Yeah. And both phases have different challenges. If you get stuck in this downward, spiral where you're going down, and so every decision that you take, sometimes, it pushes your downfall further. But sometimes when you're growing, the challenges that you have are sort of challenges that they actually create hindrance in your growth. So for example, employees would leave you for better opportunities, right? Clients will become maybe bored. I don't know. If you have worked with them for a couple of years, their situation changes, the market changes and all that. So they need a better team or something like that. So nothing is consistent and constant. So everything has an expiry date, as I put it, in the business, right? So especially like in terms of employees, in terms of clients. So your job is to really make sure that expiry does never happen. So for clients, of course, there are different strategies, but I would like to focus right now on the employee side of things. So our model is basically simple. In simple words, basically we have we have started looking at our employees as our partners. We do not believe that anymore, that these developers who are super smart and graduating with great ambitions in their minds should be limited based upon what the company thinks they should do, or the company, if a company, let's say if a developer of mine has expertise in PHP or has expertise in any other platform like blockchain or AI, but we work in Magento, but we offer them great salary, so they don't find that kind of package elsewhere, so they would join us, and really for money, they would leave their passion, they would leave their interest, and they would still become Magento developer, right? So we really don't find that exciting. We feel that It should be that, we should become a company. As a company, we should become a platform that actually help people, practice their passion, they practice their interest and their talent, and we provide them opportunities to grow. So as a result, we have figured out this model where we, like I said, we consider our employees our partners, and even there is no concept of salary anymore. There is no concept of increments, like having after 1 year or 6 months. That debate is over at RLT Square. Every time you get a new opportunity, there's an increment for you. Even our office boys are on a model. They don't have an increment time period. We are giving them increments every month. And if we have good months, right? So as we are growing, they keep on getting these raises. So we are really able to, come up with a model where we, have devised a formula where people, whoever is part of this whole package, like as a partner, whatever contributions they are making, based upon that contribution, they should be, earning. And that model has really proved amazing in the last year. We were fluctuating between 30 and 50. And the last time we hit 30, we adopted this model, and now we have grown like 70 plus. We are now 70 plus right now. And we really want to, I think that we can scale this to any level, because this doesn't really require us. It's really a model that can take you to any level. Mm-hmm. I believe that's the future of the industry. I think that all the companies that are people centric are seeing that, are seeing the growth that I'm talking about. For example, DevSync, right?
Yeah.
We celebrated DevSync's 1,000 mark, at RLT Square. We clapped for DevSync. And I think that should be the culture. We should support the right cultures. And I'm a big supporter of any company that is people-centric and that is giving their people a place to practice their passion and grow as as an individual. So that's really about the model. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's really thoughtful and mindful, and I'm really glad that you like the culture here at DevSync. Thank you so much. So could you please tell us more about if fresh graduates are willing to join RLT Square, and if they have any long-term plans to be working with the RLT Square? So how would that be?
Yeah, sure. So I think all the industry right now is looking for fresh graduates, right? Because that's the supply, that's the intake. We have a lot of demand for people, but we have only little supply. So I think, like any other company, we need people, we need great talent. And so obviously the first attraction is for fresh graduates is to get a very nice salary. And so we are pretty competitive. I believe that we are among the top. We are happy to, based upon your talent, and we could offer you any number. Like I said, there's no salary, so it's really how much you can contribute for us, and that will define how much you take home. Other than that, not only the financial. A lot of times people bring this debate of whether money is it should be your priority or the culture. We believe that this is not really a mutually exclusive stuff, right? So you can still get a nice culture, and you can still be paid more. So we are offering great culture, and we are building an environment which is very good. I have heard this feedback from a lot of the people who recently joined us in the last 6 months, that the one thing everybody said was that they loved the culture. We don't have a bossy culture there. We don't. I need, as a CEO, a lot of the time I have to, get an appointment to talk to my employees, right? So if they are busy, so there is nothing like, I'm the CEO and, you should bow in front of me.
And it's like a depiction of equality.
Yeah. So if I am CEO, I should be doing stuff that a CEO should do. And if you're a developer, you should be doing the stuff that a developer should do. So basically, so there are a lot of opportunities. We're hiring probably 3 to 4 every month. So hiring is continuously open. And we're also offering internships. And we are also expanding into other areas. So not only Magento, but also some other e-commerce platforms like BigCommerce, Shopify. And, we're also beginning to expand into other platforms as well, other areas. Blockchain is one of them. So so the second part of your question was, the first part is like, the answer to that is yes, there are great opportunities, and if you're interested in exploring your career path, with us, feel free to look, talk to us, and we love to sort of tell you what we have for you. The second part is what if somebody plans long-term tenure with RLT Square? Yeah, that's a very good question. And as a CEO, I always used to think that sometimes some people would leave you after some time, right? Yeah. So you don't feel good about them. He left me. He should have stayed with me and all that. But sometimes, people stay with you and, they don't leave you. So they become your responsibility in a way. Like somebody is working for 10 years with me. The big question is that what have they achieved, right? So I believe that, my goal is that if somebody is really willing to build a career with us and stay with us, we would like to give them, as I call it, true independence, which means, not only financial independence, but also time independence, which means that you should, as a developer, you should not have to code for the rest of your life to make some money, or you should not have to become a manager to make money. There should be no work for you, and you should still be making money, right? That is the kind of goal for everyone. Like we want to wake up to something that we love. We don't want to wake up to something that we have to do so that we can run our kitchen or build our assets. So our goal is to, come up with a model where somebody working with us for a long time eventually achieves the financial independence and the time independence, and they could do whatever they wish to do. If they want to sit in the mosque for the whole day and do prayers, they can do that. They don't have to worry about money. Mm-hmm. So that's like the long-term hope and the long-term aspiration, that we have for our employees. And yes, there are opportunities for fresh graduates.
I think this time independence and then the financial independence is really an interesting topic. I appreciate it. It's really thoughtful. Since a lot of people are still are still unsure about how will they pursue their careers, how would they become successful, what would you suggest them? What is a piece of advice that you would give them to be successful just like you maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think I am still pursuing my success, the vision that I have, still in the journey, but I would say that it's very simple. It's one thing to love success, right? And it's another thing to love the struggle that takes you to that success, right? Yeah. So I think the first thing is that you need to become familiar with struggle, with hard work. I was watching actually one of the interviews of Usman Asif, and he emphasized a lot on the hard work, and that was a very inspiring interview. I encourage everybody to watch that interview as well. So it's really, it should come down to simple principles, right? What defines you, like who you are. Are you an asset or are you a liability? You can ask that question to yourself. You want people to give you a job, but why? Why should they give you a job? What is, we always complain that, nobody's giving me a job. But the other side's complaint is that you're not worth anything. Why should I give you a job? Mm-hmm. So I think if you're not sure about things, you could start with, for example, if you're pursuing your degree, let's say you've taken 20 courses, ask yourself, can you recall the content of each course that you have taken? And if you can't even recall the book name or the author name or the table of contents that you have gone through, course contents, that means that you're really missing something, right? So the first thing is to work hard and work on yourself, invest in yourself, become an asset to anybody. If you are good in what you are doing, or not good, just there will be a lot of competition otherwise. You have to be the best in whatever you are doing. If you think you are a great programmer, then you must ask yourself, maybe you can Google characteristics of best programmers, and you might see the biggest list you see, like for example, list of 100 points. Just go over them and see if you can do those things. One of my friends actually once told me that he actually Googled and he said, I got 87 skill set. I have 87 skills out of the 100 that were listed, and the 13 that were not there were the ones that led to QA. And he said they did not interested in that. Mm-hmm. And some of them were like, can you configure a router? Can you configure networks and stuff like that? He said, I have done all of them. So, but in our case, a lot of the people don't even know language. They call themselves graduates, but they don't even know the syntax of language, let alone data structures or other concepts. Mm-hmm. So I really say that, just work hard and become knowledgeable and become skillful. And that's my advice. And do watch other people there's a lot of advice available out there. So just fight with yourself. If you become familiar with the path of struggle, then success is really going to come to you. You don't have to look for it. That would be my advice to the fresh graduates and anybody out there who's not sure what to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Idrees. RLT Square and Hafiz Mohammed Idrees Butt are, I think, one of a kind in Pakistan, and I believe they're really contributing to the bigger picture of tech industry in Pakistan. It was really nice talking to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for coming.
Me.